What's this? The Boston Steel Party? Danny Ainge just won't go away. So you don't draft Chris Dunn, and you still think that you guys have a chance for Big Ja to be bound for Title Town. Cal Gaffner is here. I'm Adrian Fenghue. I don't know where these rumors are coming from again. I mean, what the fuck is this?
It's nonstop rumors through the rumor mill with this crap, man. It's just nonstop. It's Boston, it's Atlanta, it's Phoenix, it's Minnesota. I mean, where is it going to end? None of this is going to catch fire. So who knows to say if this is really the truth or it's just, the media playing around with it just because. But a trade is going to get done. I hope it's not with Boston, though.
I at this point, I just hope they wait till the trade deadline. I hate this. The only thing that would have made this trade like almost worthwhile is that Brooklyn pick next year. But then we found out before the show it's a right to swap picks. So Jesus Christ, like the Sixers might not even be worse than the Nets next year. I didn't say that right. The Nets might not be worse than the Sixers next year. But like, all right. Obviously, next year, that's the draft where all these point guards are. It's going to be point guard heavy. There's a bunch of them. But, all right, so if they swap picks, say they include that pick in there, what would you get? Maybe a top 5 pick, maybe top 3, but mostly like top 5, maybe 6, 7, 8. And the Sixers will be what? Fringe top 10 worst in the league? It's not worth it. Fuck that. Fuck Boston. Fuck Danny Ainge, that motherfucker. Brad Stevens, just because you look good. Even though he's a good coach. I like him.
He is a good coach. I like Brad Stevens, too. But like you said, fuck Boston. I hate their whole fucking aura. I hate everything about them. Take your fucking titles and go kiss off, dude. It's just, if you would have drafted Chris Dunn, I would have done this deal in a heartbeat. But
it would have been a done deal.
You screwed us. You took him. You drafted Jaylen Brown so you wouldn't have to trade with us so you could steal our great big man away from us. And think you could give us chop suey for a piece of prime rib over here. It's not happening.
Like who do they have on their roster that's even appetizing? Like Terry Rozier? Fuck Marcus Smart. He stinks. They're not going to give us Jaylen Brown. I don't even want Jaylen Brown. I don't like Jaylen Brown. So who else they have? James Young. You got R.J. Hunter, Marcus Smart, Terry Rozier,
Avery Bradley.
Like these guys are okay. They're solid players, but I want a star for a star. I don't want 3 fucks for Big Ja. No, I'm not down with that.
And that's what they're trying to pull off. They've been trying to get a star in that city since Paul Pierce left. Since they had the big 3 with KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen. But since then, they've just been a mediocre team that have just, slung some wins together. They got Isaiah Thomas. They've gotten the best out of him. He's a stud. But they need another star player to go with him if they want to go further. They just got complimentary players right now. And I don't understand with the gift that the Nets have given them how they haven't built a powerhouse. With all those picks they've had, they've wasted them.
Yeah, I mean, if a trade were to happen, it would have to start with that 2018 first-round pick and that right to swap next year. That's where it starts. And then I want Rozier. I want maybe a James Young or R.J. Hunter. So that's if they need to at least part ways with those picks first before I'm even thinking about it. But getting back to my point about, I don't want three guys for Ja. I want a star for a star. Stay, for instance, like Minnesota, right? Zach LaVine, for instance. I would love to get something together, get Zach LaVine and Jahlil Okafor, get that going. Not that it would happen, but that's like my point with that. I don't want 3 solid complementary players for an all-star. Fuck that. We can get better than that. We can wait until the trade deadline. You don't have to do it right now.
No, you don't. And it burns me up because a deal almost got done during the draft with us trading with Boston, but they just didn't like what we offered. They wanted more. They wanted a king's ransom for what they were offering. And thank God, Colangelo didn't pull the trigger on it. But I think we should bide our time and not just rush this and get in there and give them a job for 3 complimentary players, like you just said. Nothing is really sexy about their team or these players that they can offer us. But it has to start with those picks. That's the only thing that can really be intriguing about this trade. And then you throw in a Marcus Smart, an RJ Hunter, as you said, or, an Avery Bradley even, guy that can defend and shoot the three. But it's just like, I want to get a deal done with the Timberwolves, something like that. Like you said, a Zach LaVine. Wow. Can you imagine that going with Ben Simmons? That would be crazy. Although it probably won't happen because I don't see us prying them away from him or Chris Dunn.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But, it's still fun to talk about and fun to speculate, all that stuff. So, yeah, that'll be for another show. Next week, we're going to do trade scenarios, like realistic trade scenarios that the Sixers could make with, other teams, for instance. So that'll be for next week. But we're still going to keep with Boston here. Danny Ainge is a slimy, grimy little bastard. He thinks he could just pluck guys away for nothing, and that's what's going on with this. And then the problem is on our side is we have a guy named Brian Colangelo that's not afraid to make moves, and sometimes he does some stupid shit, and that's what I'm hoping doesn't happen here.
Yeah, I'm with that too. He has the tendency to pull the trigger a little early sometimes, especially since he doesn't like the way the roster is panned out. But you got to be very careful about Danny Ainge. Especially from a Bostonian like that, this guy, he just screams Boston. Just everything, their whole aura about them. Look what he did to Billy King, for God's sakes. I do not want that to happen to us. God, come on. Let's get your wits about you. They don't have Chris Dunn. Let's just move on. Let's just move on down the road.
Yeah, they fucked up once they didn't draft Chris Dunn. That's like you know what that is? That's like one of those chicks, that's playing games, and she keeps playing games. She thinks she can just keep playing games, get away with it. Once she plays those games, that's when you got to give her the boot and don't let her come back. Don't let Danny Ainge come back. Fuck him. Fuck
Blame the door.
God, yeah. Fuck his attention ass.
It's just we just got to block him out. They had their chance, so let's move on. Get away from them. I mean, anybody, and if we were to do it, who knows to say if it would be Big Ja? I've heard Nerlens going to them too.
See, that's a little bit of a different story. If it's Nerlens, then okay, then I might want to do something because I think Big Ja's a potential star, and Noel he's a valuable piece for us because of his ability to defend and defend the perimeter. Because watching some Dario Saric stuff. That guy cannot defend the perimeter. So, he can guard those stretch four type of players. But, all right, I'll ask this question. Who are like the three, if say something did happen, who are the three Celtics players that you would want? Not like Marcus Smart, because I know we both hate him.
Yeah, I'm not touching Marcus Smart with a 10-foot pole. I want RJ Hunter because of his ability to shoot. I'll take Avery Bradley because he can defend and shoot the three, and then throw in a James Young, even though he's had, a little bit of an injury-riddled career so far. I loved him coming out of Kentucky. The kid can shoot. He can defend as well. So I take those three guys.
Yeah, Avery Bradley's my number one guy because he's still only 25 years old, and he can defend, and he can play. He can basically play that, the one. He can play the one with Simmons, but not have to be the point guard. So that's why I like him. I think he could be a perfect fit for us. I'm cool with Rozier. I kind of like Rozier a little bit. So him, Rozier, and either James Young or Hunter. Probably Hunter. Fuck it.
Just because of his range, the dude can shoot the lights out.
Young can shoot a little bit too, but I've never been really really high on James Young. So he's just like meh to me. He's just whatever. So
either love him or hate him. I mean, I wouldn't mind him, but if we were forced to take those guys, that's who I would pick. But I pose this question to you. Now that we've got the franchise player Ben Simmons, if it is for Ja or Nerlens, who do you think we should get rid of and why? Who better complements Ben Simmons?
Probably Noel because of his ability to defend and stuff. But I've kind of I've derived a little bit from that stance because my thinking now is like for the first like 40 minutes of the game, you can play transition, go up and down the floor. But those last 5 minutes, you're going to need to play some half court, keep the lead, and Ja's the player for that. You just feed the post, let him go to work. But you're really sacrificing a lot of defense if you get rid of Noel, which is what I don't like. So it's funny because I hear even reports that say that Noel is actually the more valuable trade piece, which is a little bit astonishing to me.
Yeah, just because of his transition, the way he can work in transition and the way he can protect the rim. It's very valuable. But I think what hurts him is his contract control. After this year, he's gonna be commanding big dollars.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not like we don't have any money to spend.
That's true. That's very true. But I would, if it was up to them, I love Nerlens. I'm a diehard Nerlens fan. But I think I'd have to keep Ja just for insurance for Embiid, because we don't know what's going to happen with Embiid still. Yeah. We can't just assume that. So I would, take the offense and the potential, even though we would get more by giving up Ja. He just has more contract control under this as well. We have another 3 years of Ja. We don't have to pay big money like that to Ja yet until his contract's up, whereas Nerlens we're going to have to pay. Even though he can protect the rim, we have a young guy that can do that in Richaun Holmes.
Let's not overrate Richaun Holmes now.
But he's not on Nerlens' level, but he can do a lot of the things that Nerlens can do.
All right. Here's what I'll say about Ja, too, because I saw him, he's been at the Summer League games, and, dude, he's looking slim. So I love that because, obviously, we're going to be running up and down the floor. Chunky Ja would not be able to withstand that style. But if he's slimming down, maybe he can run the floor a little bit better. I don't know. I got a gut feeling now. I just don't want to trade Ja at this point. I just, no, he's going to be a really good player. He's going to be an all-star. I don't think he's first-team All-NBA. I don't think he's maybe as good as some other Sixers fans think, but I think he has that potential to be like that, I don't know, say 20-8 guy.
28 guy, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And you don't want to give something, if it does happen for free. But I really like Ja too. His post moves, you can't teach that. They're bar none. They're incredible. But when it comes down to it, we're just gonna have to see what they do. I'm torn. I think there's good and bad and the ugly with both of them.
And you know what? And because we're so torn, that's even more evidence as to why they should just wait until the All-Star break.
Exactly.
See if Embiid, what he can do when he's healthy. See what Saric can do. I still have been having trouble saying it correctly. Šarić. It's not Saric. Šarić. I sound like a fucking drunk, not being able to say my words, stumbling. But yeah, I mean, I want to see what Saric and Embiid can do. Why do you have to do something right now? Why? I don't understand the urgency.
We don't, and I think it's the pressure of the NBA coming down on the Sixers for what they've technically done wrong over the last 3 years by tanking. But I don't understand what they expect us to do. You have to get in the top 10. You have to get star players. That's how you get star players. You just can't go out and buy them in free agency. That's what you have to do.
Well, you can if you're Golden State.
Well, now, I mean, but look what them they built through the draft.
No, I know what you mean. I know. Yeah. I'm just busting your chops.
But it's like other teams have done it, and everybody's ragging on us. Come on, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Adam Silver, man, he's done a great job though as commissioner, even though he looks like a little piece of sperm.
Yeah, he does. He looks like a little floppy noodle that has got no balls. But he has done a good job, except for bashing on us and saying we're doing it the wrong way and that we got to win now. No, we're gonna take our damn time. Is what we're gonna do until it's done right.
Hell yeah. So, I'm still looking at this roster. I'm just Isaiah Thomas would be nice. I just don't know how he would work though, because he needs the ball in his hands.
He needs the balls, yeah. So he wouldn't work here. It's just Boston, I think, has come up so much because of all the firepower that they have to be able to make a trade. It makes the most sense around the league and every way you look at it for them to be able to pull off a trade because of all the assets they have accumulated over the past couple of years with that trade with the Nets, that awful trade with the Nets.
Yeah. Might be the worst trade of all time in the NBA. Like 3 first-round picks, that right to swap for Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce. Those guys were done after like a year.
Yeah, it wasn't even like they were in their prime. Like, you got these guys when they were 36 years old. Like, Billy King, what were you thinking? This wasn't a win-now situation for Brooklyn. They wanted to get – you know what they wanted to do? It was Brooklyn just starting there. They just moved from New Jersey. They were trying to get stars in there just to fill the seats. That's all they were trying to do. And it backfired. Hence why Billy King is one of the worst GMs. You ruined our organization too. So you needed to ship off and get out of the NBA. See ya.
Oh, man. Oh, Billy. Poor little Billy. All right. Well, that's about it. I mean, not much else to talk about. We slammed Boston. I mean, I don't see how this could be possible. I just don't. Not for if maybe you want to trade Noel, okay. All right, maybe I'll do that. But I'm not. No, Big Jaw, you're staying in Philly.
Yeah, you know, there's that link with Nerlens going back to his hometown of Massachusetts. That could be done there, but it would make more sense for Nerlens to go there and get a complimentary player for Nerlens as opposed to Jock, because he's got that star potential on the offense.
Yeah, if it's like Noel for like Bradley and like Rozier or something, I'd do that.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I'd possibly do that. And
Bradley's got to be in the deal for either one of these guys. Bradley,
absolutely. Bradley's like the perfect piece for us.
Agreed.
Because he's still young, and he can play the one without having the ball in his hands. He's going to guard your opposing team's point guard very well too, because he's fucking tremendous.
And he can shoot the lights. He's great percentage from 3-point land too.
Yeah, and that's incredible because he couldn't shoot when he came in the league. So he can defend. He can shoot the ball a little bit. So I mean, that's the kind of piece that the Sixers team needs.
As we said verbatim, beating a dead horse. That's what we need to go with Ben Simmons. Even in the summer league, you know, shooting wasn't there for a lot of assists that Ben Simmons could have had if he had the right pieces around him to knock down the shots.
It's amazing how many times he dished off to the perimeter and like guys just couldn't hit shots. Like it was astounding that, you know, nobody hit shots. He would go up and down the floor in transition, you know, little drop passes to like Brandon Paul. He couldn't hit the three. For whatever reason, he was kicking out passes to TJ McConnell. That should never happen. So
Dallas was bricking a lot too. So
yeah.
Just gotta get, you know, guys that can shoot a better percentage from the three. But we will see what happens. You know, we've been hearing this plethora of trade rumors with Boston from the past 6-7 months. So fingers crossed it doesn't happen for the Big Jaw.
Yeah, it would be a Boston Steel party. It would be terrible. So any final thoughts before we get out?
I'm trying to think. What was final thoughts is you know what? You go. Your final thoughts. I had something and I just lost it for a second.
I touched the World Series trophy yesterday, and it was awesome. I splurged in my pants. I was thinking about stealing it, but I wouldn't have made it past 100 feet.
I don't think, especially since we only have 2 in the whole clubhouse.
Yeah, we have 2. Yo, the 2008 one is smaller than the 1980 one. The 1980 one's like pretty big, and then the 2008 one's kind of smaller. Yeah, we had like an event with Philly Influence last night with Comcast, so that was pretty cool, you know. So got to see the trophies, got to see the press, the media room or whatever the fuck where they have the press conferences. So that was really neat to see. Got to take in the ball game. We got our asses kicked. Ryan Howard had the only hit of the game. We left in like the bottom of the 8th inning. It was like 7-2 or something. So yeah, it was. The Marlins had like 15 hits. We had 1, and it was just a terrible game to watch.
Oh God! Well, on a good note, it looks like we're going to be trading Helgson, and Jake Thompson's going to be getting his promotion to the big leagues finally, and Aaron Altier is going to be coming back too. So we're going to be getting some offense and some power pitching up there. And Mickey Moniak, to note, has been killing it down in the Grapefruit League. The kid has brought his batting average up to 330 by now. Stole 3 bags the other day.
Wow, so we'll have to do a Philly show next week too. We'll have to do both. Even though
nobody cares, but I will gladly talk about the Phillies.
Even though nobody's watching our Phillies coverage. It's almost as bad as our Union stuff right now. But but hey, our Sixers stuff's doing really well. Thank you guys for all watching, and make sure you leave comments below. If there's a trade you'd like to make, let us know. Would you want to do a trade with Boston? Let us know. So yeah, that's about it. For Kyle Gaffner, I'm Adrian Fedke. We are out, and tune in next week because next week's show going to be a lot of fun. Possibilities, trade possibilities. Can't wait for that. We're out.
Later, guys.